Hi everyone, it's Karen from the library. Today I'd like to read you the story, The Elephant's New Shoe. This is the story of conservationist Nick Marks and how he finds an abandoned elephant calf with a severely injured foot and how he saves him. The Elephant's New Shoe, written by Laurel Neame, illustrated by Ariel Landy, with permission from Scholastic Publishing. Animal rescuer Nick Marks peered at the injured elephant. He and Dr. Ty had been called by a patrol team to inspect a tiny male elephant found wandering alone. His name was Chook. Nick blinked back tears. Chook was skinny, scruffy, scared. A wire snare had cut off his foot, and his leg was infected. Nick tiptoed into view. He did not want to startle the infant. Chook flapped his ears. He had been hurt by nasty men before. Could he trust Nick? The baby elephant trumpeted, a warning. Nick crept closer. I won't hurt you. Trumpet! Chook reared up and landed on his bad leg. His body buckled. Nick winced. He could feel the pachyderm's pain. To help the orphaned elephant, he knew he would have to prove that he wasn't a danger. Nick turned back to his team. Go back to camp, he told them. I'll stay. Nick sprinkled bananas along the trail. Hungry little guy? Chook eyed the moon-shaped fruit, but skittered away. At nightfall, Chook watched Nick from a distance. Eventually, both fell asleep under the stars. The next morning, Nick moved closer to Chook. Banana, Nick offered. Chook inched closer and closer. Slowly and carefully, he placed his hand on Chook's head. At last, the injured elephant snuffled Nick's arm. The two soon became fast friends. During the day, they listened to the jungle. At nighttime, Nick fluffed grass beside his hammock. Chook nestled underneath. Bring Chook to the rescue center, government officials told Nick. There, he could get the care he needed. Nick worried Chook could hurt himself on the bumpy roads, so they built a special cage and padded it with soft leaves. On the big day, Dr. Ty sedated Chook to make him sleepy and keep the men safe. An anxious elephant can be dangerous. Nick led Chook into the truck and sat beside him. During the trip, Nick and Chook snacked. They stretched. They slept. 26 hours later, they arrived at the rescue center. Dr. Ty examined Chook's leg. He's in bad shape. Nick rubbed Chook's trunk. Without a foot, the elephant's back and bones would twist out of shape. The pain would become unbearable. The vets would do what they could, but they could not regrow the missing limb. Dr. Ty cleaned the wound and removed some bone fragments. Would Chook ever be able to walk again? Nick and another keeper nursed the elephant round the clock. The calf gained weight. His legs started to heal, but Chook was sad. He slept all the time. Miss your family, little guy, Nick murmured. For an elephant, family is the center of its world. Chook had no mother, no herd, no elephant love. Lucky meet Chook, Nick said. Now 8 Lucky had been rescued as an orphan too. Nick knew she could help. Lucky nestled Chook under her belly. Chook snuggled, finally peaceful. Nick and Lucky started down a lush trail. The tiny calf struggled to follow. His foot hurt and he was tired. Lucky rumbled encouragement, but Chook could not keep up. Nick frowned. Would Chook ever have a normal elephant life? Nick encouraged Chook, but things were looking dismal. Chook just wanted to lie down and rest. Walking on 3 legs was hard. Chook couldn't go on like this forever. He needed a new foot. But was that even possible? Nick called doctors in Thailand. They had done this for elephants there, but they were too busy. He called doctors and prosthesis makers throughout Cambodia, but they refused. Too crazy, too costly, too complicated. It was a storm of no's. But Nick would not give up. He begged the Cambodian School of Prosthetics and Orthotics. "Can you help?" The director agreed. "We'll try." Medics measured, they molded, they debated and created. Weeks later, they came back with their first design. It had a soft plastic upper and a car tire sole. Nick examined the false foot. Would Chook accept it? Nick enticed his friend with turnips, while Doctor slipped on a sock and then the new shoe. Chook nosed it. He took a step and another. He tested, he twirled, until at last he trusted his new foot. Nick smiled. He loves it. But a few days later, the side split. The plastic ripped. It could not take the wear and tear of an elephant. They needed a stronger shoe. This time, they used a hard plastic. Nick distracted his pal with turnips, while the team wrenched the boot into place. The calf trumpeted. "It hurts." He cringed. He crashed. He cried. "Get it off." Nick and the team carefully approached Chook to take it off. Once again, the team tested different designs. This time, for a durable shoe, they poured stiff but flexible plastic. For a stay-on shoe, they added belts. For a comfy shoe, they padded it with foam. At last, they were ready. Nick grinned at the new contraption. Coaxing his buddy with bananas, the team strapped the shoe on. Chook tiptoed forward carefully. He pranced backward delicately. He snuggled up to Nick in an elephant thank you. Today, Chook and Lucky spend their days exploring the forest at the center. Chook is a big boy now. He is still growing and outgrowing his prosthetic. Every 6 months, he needs a new shoe, and every time, Nick and the school make one. I hope you enjoyed the story, The Elephant's New Shoe. Chook continues to thrive, and every 6 months or so, he's fitted with a new shoe. Now I'd like you to think about all the care and concern that Nick and his staff showed Chook.